Hallo.
Bouts,
Ja,
hoe gaan dit?
goed dan met jou.
Baie goed, dankie.
Scott van de Merwe.
What's it now? Welcome to Balls Radio. Nice to chat to you
Thank
for
you. Yeah,
it's been a long
thanks.
time.
Yeah, it's nearly it's so long in the market. It's nearly balls up, but it's fine.
Now, have you calmed down from Saturday?
No, not yet.
What was going on there? Gee, suddenly everyone's talking about the post-game panel more than they were talking about the game.
How is it?
Yeah.
That's
Everyone's saying everyone's getting stuck in, and Nick got you guys going, and then Ashwin climbed in, and then Naas climbed in.
Nobody got stuck in. Whatever we tried to analyze what we saw.
Yeah.
It was quite difficult because we didn't see anything.
Exactly. I was going to say, well, what you saw wasn't pretty, so I suppose in that case that sums it up. Yeah, yes. Is there, what do you mean? It's so panic op die oomblik. I mean, there's a reason to. I know it's Argentina. No one said it was going to be easy in Mendoza, but it wasn't a great performance. It wasn't pretty to watch. Should we be worried?
I think what worries everybody is that the game plan that's in the Bok team at the moment, it's been around for a while, okay, and it's been around the Bulls also for a while. And your success rate is not that great. You know, you can look at, the thing is, it's easy at, let's say, super rugby level. It's quite easy because not everybody is that strong. But as soon as you run into international rugby, we must always remember it's the 15 best guys that the country can put together.
Yeah.
So it's not like there are weak links like in provincial and franchise teams. You follow?
Yeah.
And I think that's why everybody's a little bit worried because, Darren, you've heard this before, and you've heard it on a number of occasions that we lost because our defensive game plan didn't work. You hardly hear, listen, we lost. But you know what's quite interesting? We scored 4 tries, but they scored 6 tries. You know, something like that. You follow?
Yeah.
I think it's the game plan that's got everybody a little bit worried now, because if you take a poor guy like Francois Hogarth, it's a great scrum off, but the way they want him to play, then don't pick him, then pick somebody else.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of the point. We just chatted to Dan Retief before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Pretty much, I think, exactly as you say it. And the point that we made, Heineke came in and immediately people thought, were saying, okay, we're going to get the Bulls kind of rugby, that kind of rugby. And what we were talking about earlier on is that it brought them success, it brought them Super Rugby success. But that's going back a few years now. That kind of rugby hasn't really worked for them over the last few years. You've got to change. And the question was, can Heineke bring something new to the Springboks?
Yeah, see, that's the question he needs to answer. But at the moment, we don't see those answers. That's your problem. And see, the thing is, a couple of years ago, what really worked is you had Bakkies and Donner just bashing and running over.
Yeah.
But now because of the defensive game plans where you double up, 2 guys go on to 1, because certain guys, if they do have the ball in hand, they're never going to pass that in any game. So then they double up, and then on a double up tackle, we can lose the ball like we did on the weekend. And now the problem is, and we've spoken about that on a number of occasions, the game plan of let's kick the ball away and let's go and tackle. And why do you want to do that? Let's just play normal rugby and go and score tries, and if you need to kick, you kick. But you don't hardly see that. And look at the Stormers, and this is not to do anybody down. You look at the Stormers; they had the best record because they hardly played without the ball. They played better without the ball. Now that's not rugby, and I don't mean it badly. I just mean you're not going to score tries like that unless the opposition start making mistakes. Now if you play, that's the difference. If you play Otago or the Reds or Waratahs or whatever, yes, they are going to make mistakes. Suddenly you run into the All Blacks, they may make a mistake. Now who's going to win that game? When you run into Australia, that I believe is not a good side at the moment. But suddenly you can lose against them because you don't do anything, and why should they do something? Yeah. And that's why, and this is not to criticize anybody, it's just that everybody is slightly worried because we're not playing rugby. And it's like, what's annoying for me, okay, is we must always hear, but yes, the New Zealand guys are, they've got great skill. I promise you, South African players do have the skill. We just don't allow them to play. And I'm serious about it. That's the sad part.
And it's no coincidence, I suppose, the performance this weekend and the result that we got, that Graham Henry's seen Springbok rugby for a long time.
Precisely.
You know, he knows he kind of knows, after watching them maybe a couple of times since Heineke's taken over, he kind of guessed right what they were going to get.
Yeah, and see, Darren, and you've been part of rugby for the last 20 years, in any case, with me and with other guys. But all I'm saying is, you can see Argentina was never going to miss the up and unders. You could see that. So why do you keep kicking it then? You've seen against Australia, to kick up and unders is commit suicide. If you kick against New Zealand and it's a ball, that ball is 1 yard too far, then they run at you back, and then you're in trouble. So the thing is, we've got the skill, we've got the talent, but we don't play rugby. That's the unfortunate thing. So people say in this country, Wynand Olivier has got no skill. John de Villiers got no skill. Frans Steyn, they all have skill. But the thing is, if you put them into a game plan where they don't need to utilize their skill, now of course they're not going to have skill. That's your problem. If you take, and I feel for a guy like Morné Steyn. If you think about what happened on the weekend, from the line-out they played straight to Frans Steyn. From any other phase they played to somebody else, unless they want him to kick, then they pass the ball for him to kick. Now you go and analyze New Zealand on Saturday morning. They make sure whatever they get the ball to Carter and let Carter run the show and make the decision. We make sure Morné doesn't get the ball unless he needs to kick it. Now, if you don't want him to make the decisions, then don't pick him. Then pick somebody else. You follow. Then go and pick Heinrich Berceau at fly-off. I think he's going to drive more the ball than Morné Steyn and better in any case. No, man. Seriously, and this is not to criticize anybody. We're talking rugby now, and that's the problem. The poor guy, Morné, has lost all his confidence. Why? Pierre Spies is another great example for me, and this is only my opinion. He's falling short. Why? Because Pierre is not used to try and run through 3 or 4 tacklers. The last 2 years, we said to Pierre Spies, you play like Albert, you run through people. I think he's just tired. I think his body is tired of all the tackles. I said it. When he started, he was running like Bob Skinstad, outside the centers, outside the wings. That's his strong point. Now, if you don't utilize him, don't pick the guy. Yeah. That's my point.
Well, I mean, there have been calls before, I think, since everyone's saying Pierre's all form, blah, 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 to bring a guy like Kankowski in. And obviously he's over in Japan now, but he wouldn't have made much difference if they're playing that game plan, because that's the kind of rugby he likes to play as well. So you've got to look at if that game plan is going to be played, you've got to look at a big guy that likes to run into brick walls like an Alberts or one of those guys. But, I mean, clearly we saw on Saturday it doesn't necessarily mean results.
Yeah, but your problem now is everybody knows he's going to do that.
Yeah.
Just imagine what I'm going to explain to you now. Alberts pick up the ball and he runs, and the 2 tacklers wait because we know he just flipped the ball before contact, and the next guy just flipped the ball before contact. You know how the opposition is going to start looking at what's next. But we know John de Villiers don't pass, Frans Steyn don't pass, Dane Kirshner don't pass, Alberts doesn't pass. So nobody passes the ball. So they just double up, and that's what they did on the weekend. They double up, and then the next guy comes in and he plays the ball. So it's either a penalty, or they counter-racking us on the ground, and we lost the ball. So now we're getting to a point, the only loose ball we get is we go and take it from the ball boy. Now that's not a good thing.
Yes. Naas, I just want to ask, we appointed Heineke man knowing the kind of rugby that he coaches, the brand of rugby that he plays. We see it's perhaps not working now. Is it, in your opinion, is he capable of changing? This is the type of rugby that he plays.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think we'll see now. It's a valid question, but nobody knows.
He has to, though.
We have to see now if he can adapt, if he can change his game plan. Can he put something else on the table? Because we saw now the high-kicking game, boys, doesn't work anymore. The thing is, how many times have we talked about our tactical kicking? Tactical kicking means I force you I force you to get to the ball, to play the ball. But to kick a ball straight down to the fullback, that's not tactical kicking.
Yeah.
So the opposition don't even think what the hell they need to do, because they're just coming back straight at you, and now we must tackle. Now we start missing tackles like we did on the weekend. We missed the first tackle, nobody else is in the position. 3, 4, 5 tackles later, the guy might get down, but then it's all from an offside position, it's a penalty. See, that's your problem. Is South Africa needs to walk away from we want to be this great defensive team. We need to be an overall team. That means 50% attack, 50% defense. Some games you have 70% attack, 30% defense. Some games you have 70% defense, 30% attack. But our game plan, and you all know that, for the last number of years, it's been 80% defense and 20% attacking play. And boys, the game moved on. They all trying to make laws for the ball carrier to get all the advantages. That's why Argentina got all the advantages, because they did carry the ball on the weekend.
Naas, it's always lucky to hear your opinions, and thanks for joining us on Balls this afternoon. Family all good?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, Karen has a second knee replacement, so she's Hopalon Cassidy, so she's not available for the box in 2 weeks' time in any case.
But you haven't counted yourself out.
No. I've pulled a hamstring while watching on Saturday.
I think you pulled a hamstring afterwards in the panel discussion. That's when it went. Lucky to chat to you, Naas. Look after yourself.
Okay.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Naas.
mate.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
There we go. Naas Botha on Balls Visual Radio. For the first time as Naas.